ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। निष्ठप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यभागवतसेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Welcome to this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. We are right now discussing the Canto 1, and today we are will be discussing the ninth chapter of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the title of this chapter is Passing Away of Bhishma Deva in Presence of Lord Krishna. So it is a very beautiful, uh, very beautiful chapter. Beautiful in the sense we will understand the reciprocation of love and understanding between devotee. In this case, it is Lord no, Bhishma Deva, who is a Mahajan, and Lord Krishna. So it's a very nice chapter. There is a beautiful. Let us go to the key themes. So in this chapter, passing away of Bhishma Deva, there are mm, two major sections, which is Bhishma Deva's glorification of Lord Krishna, which comes between 18 to 24 shlokas, and then between 32 to 43, Bhishma Deva prays to Lord. And there are two important shlokas here. One is the time controls everything, and Lord's inconceivable time. And inconceivable means achintya. So this is something we will be going through. This chapter has 49 shlokas, and I intend to complete up to shloka number 24 on today's discussion. So the overall flow of Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, we in the previous chapters we saw the birth of Parikshit Maharaj, and not birth of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was saved by Krishna because he was attacked by the weapon, Brahmastra weapon of Ashwatthama. So Krishna enters the womb of Uttara and protects the child Parikshit. Then Queen Kunti is praying to Lord Krishna. Krishna is about to leave to Dwaraka from Hastinapur. So Queen Kunti is expressing her grief that she cannot be seeing Krishna again. So she prays for more and more calamities so that Krishna can appear again and again. And there is no need. When by seeing Krishna, there is no uh, possibility of birth and death again. So it's a very interesting Queen Kunti's prayer. At the end of Queen Kunti's prayer, when Krishna is about to leave, Yudhishthira asked Krishna that he is not convinced why he should become the emperor. If he becomes emperor, um, he will not, no, he has done two Ashwamedha sacrifices. That Ashwamedha sacrifice may not be sufficient for him to wipe off all the sins that he has incurred by killing the other kings and warriors in the battle of Kurukshetra. So he was not convinced to become the emperor of the world. He was not convinced with the fact that for making him emperor, why such a massacre is required. So at that point, it stops. Now we are entering into the ninth chapter. So ninth chapter, when Krishna actually smiles and gets prepared when he gets prepared to leave Hastinapur. Um, he smiles when Yudhishthira stops him. Yudhishthira is overwhelmed with grief and is ridden with guilt. He was kind-hearted person. He considered that massacre of Kurukshetra that was carried out to enthrone him, the king of Hastinapur, is not okay. He personally feels responsible for the bloodshed in the war and laments deeply for this sin. So Yudhishthira couldn't be pacified by anyone, including Vyasadeva and even Krishna. So he was, as to understand Dharma. Therefore, Krishna as a Paramatma inspires Yudhishthira to visit Bhishma Dev, who is still in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, lying on the bed of arrows. Yudhishthira proceeded accompanied by his brothers Krishna, Vyasa, and many others. So now what does Bhishma Dev tell? Bhishma Dev lifelong empathizes with the problems, adversities which was inflicted upon the Pandavas by unrighteous Kauravas. He became happy to see that righteous and deserving Pandavas have rise to the royal position. Finally, yeah, no, he pacifies and encourages Yudhishthira, teaches him some of the important codes of various dharma, and advises him to rule the kingdom without hesitation. He points out to Pandavas that everything has come to pass according to will of Krishna, and therefore he has nothing to lament. Bhishma praises then Bhishma praises the unparalleled qualities of Krishna, offers him prayers, meditates on Krishna's form as Parthasarathi. He recollects Krishna's reciprocation in the past and gratefully acknowledges no, he has given his darshan at the Krishna's for giving his darshan at the time of his departure from this material world. So, at an auspicious moment, with Bhishma Dev's consciousness fixed on Krishna, Bhishma Dev gives up the body in presence of Krishna and several other great sages, great men of the universe. It thus attains spiritual realm because of passing away in presence of Krishna. Bhishma Deva was circumstantially against Krishna and the Pandavas in the war, but his heart was always abiding by the will of Krishna, understanding that Krishna wanted to teach the humanity the most important lesson through Bhishma. So, what is that lesson? However exalted one may be in a material calculation, if one stands against the righteous and sides with the wicked, one would be defeated. Valor cannot stand before virtue. So, this was the most important lesson. So, this is the basic summary of this chapter. So Krishna and Bhishma there emphasizes two important things. One, everything happens by the will of Lord, and everything that Lord does is inconceivable. So Krishna's Leela is Achintya, and Krishna Arte Akhila Chesta. Everything in the world happens for fulfilling the desire of Krishna. These are the two important points which Bhishma Dev makes. So let us go to the shloka 1.9.1. Suta Vacha Iti Bita Prajadroha Sarva Dharma Vivitsaya Tato Vishanam Raga Yatra Deva Pato Patat. Suta Goswami said, being afraid for having killed so many subjects on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the scene of massacre. There, Bhishma Deva was lying on bed of arrows about to pass away. In this ninth chapter, as it is built by Lord Sri Krishna, Deva will impart instructions to Yudhishthira on the subject of occupational duties. So here, Krishna wants to bring the importance of Bhishma Deva. So that is why Krishna enacts this pastime, and Krishna always wants his devotees to be glorified. So if you see the entire of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is glorification of Krishna, and glorification of devotees. Okay, let us go to the next sloka. तदा ते भ्रातरः सर्वे सदा स्वर्णभूषितैः अन्वगच्छन्नते विप्रा व्यासाद्रौम्यादयस्ततः तथा. At that time, all his brothers followed him in on beautiful chariot drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. With them were Vyasa and rishis like Dhaumya, the learned priest of Pandavas and Pandavas. भगवानपि विप्रासे रतेन स धनञ्जया स तैर्व्यरोचत नपा कुबेर एव योग्यकै. O sage, amongst the Brahmanas, Lord Krishna, the personality of God, also followed seated on the chariot with Arjuna. Thus King Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera, surrounded by his companions, the Guhyakas. Lord Krishna wanted Pandavas to be present before Bhishma Deva in the most aristocratic order so that he may be pleased to see them happy at the time of death. Kuvera is the richest of all the demigods. Herein, King Yudhishthira appeared like him, for the procession along with Sri Krishna was quite appropriate to the royalty of King Yudhishthira. दृष्ट्वा निपतितं भूमौ दिवाश्चच्युतम् इवामरं प्राणेमु पाण्डव भीष्मं सम्मुगा सह चक्रिना. Seeing him, Bhishma lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, Pandava king Yudhishthira, along with his brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed before him. So here we can see the Lord, although conscious of his supreme position, always behaved in a humanly custom, and so he also bowed down before dying Bhishma Deva as if he were one of the younger brothers of King Yudhishthira. तत्र ब्रह्मार्षयः सर्वे देवर्षयश्च सत्तमा राजर्षयश्च तत्रासन् दृष्टुं भारतपुङ्गवाम्. Just to see the chief of vigilance of King Bharata, Bhishma, all the great souls in the universe, namely the rishis amongst the demigods, brahmanas, and the kings, all situated in quality of goodness, were assembled there. The rishis are also those who have attained perfection by spiritual achievements. Such spiritual achievements can be earned by all, whether one is a king or a mendicant. Bhishmadeva himself was also one of the Brahma rishis, the chief descendants of King Bharata. All the rishis are situated with quality of goodness, all of them assembled there on hearing the news of great warriors impending death. पर्वतो नारदौम्यं भगवान् बादरायणः बृहदशो भरद्वाजः शशियो रेणुकसुता वसिष्ठ इन्द्र प्रमदस्य गृहीतो ग्रस्तामतो असितः Kakishwan, Gautam, Atrischa, Kaushiko, Ata Sudarshana. All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Daumya, Vyasa, the incarnation of God, Brad, Sava, Bharatwaj, and Parashurama, and the disciples Vasishta, Indra, Pramada, Trita, Vrishtamada, Asita, Kak, Shivan, Gautama, Atri, Kaushika, and Sudarshana were present. Here, one interesting thing is Renuka Sutta. Renuka Sutta is Parashuram. Renuka is the name of mother of Parashuram. So Prabhupada has given a brief description of each of the rishis here. I am not going to spend time on this. We will go to the next shloka. Text 8. Anye cha munayo brahman brahma ratadayo mala shishya upeda agamu ajagmu kashyapanga rasadaya. So, and many others like Sukadeva Goswami and other purified souls, Kashyapa, Angirisha, and others, all accompanied by the respective disciples, arrived there. Brahma Rata. Brahma Rata is Sukadeva Goswami. This also is a description of all the other sages. Tan sametan Mahabhagan Upalabhya Vasuttama Pujyam Asadar Magno Desha Kala Vibhagavid. Bhishmadeva, who was the best amongst the eight Vasus, received and welcomed all the great, powerful rishis who were assembled there, for he knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place. Actually, he's a Mahajana, so he knows that. Bhishmadeva was one of the 12 great authorities in preaching this cult of devotional service, and therefore he could receive and welcome all powerful sages assembled there at his death but from all parts of universe. कृष्णं च ततः प्रभावज्ञा आसीनां जगतीश्वरं प्रीतिस्तं पूजयम् आशा मायायोपत्त विग्रहम्. Lord Shri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishma Deva, and since Bhishma Deva knew of all his glories, he worshipped him duly. So Lord's omnipotency is displayed by his simultaneous presence in every place. He is present always in his eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, and still he is present in everyone's heart and even within every invisible atom. So that is why Lord Krishna is called as Antaryam. He is there inside. He acts as a witness. He is present inside and he is also present outside. So in Vishnu Sahasranama, there is a the first names are called as Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkara, Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat. Vishwam means the universe. Vishnu means one who enters the universe. Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkara. He who controls everything. Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat. Bhuta means he is past. Bhavya means present. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat. Bhavat means which is going to be future, just future. So we see that in this first five names, six names, we see that Krishna is described as someone who controls the place as well as the time. So that is how he is omnipotent that way. Panduputran Upasinaam Prasharaya Prema Sangatan Abhyachas Tanu Anuragashray Abhibhutena Chakshusha. The sons of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishma Deva congratulated them with feeling. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes, for he was overwhelmed by love and affection. The main reason is that Pandu died very early. So these children, Pandavas, were taken care by Bhishma Deva from very young age. So as soon as Pandu died, all the Pandavas, along with Queen Kunti, they were brought to Hastinapur, and Pitamaha Bhishma used to take care of them in their childhood. So even before Dronacharya became the teacher, Bhishma Deva was the principal teacher, and since Pandavas did not have father, Bhishma took care of Pandavas more than the Kauravas, Duryodhana and his 99 brothers. So that is why there is an attachment between Bhishma Deva and Pandavas. Let us go to the next shloka. This is a very Very nice sloka. अहो कष्टम् अहो न्यायं यद्यूयं धर्मनन्दनः जीवितुं नार्थक्लिष्टां विप्रधर्मस् अच्युताश्रया. Vipra means Brahmanas, Dharma, piety, Achyuta, God, Ashraya, being protected. Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. Dharma Nandanaha, you did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion. Dharma Achyutashraya. Vipra Dharma Achyutashraya. Usually, devotees take help of Vipra, Dharma, and Achyuta. Vipra means Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Dharma means Shastras, which are teachings we should know. Uh, and Achyuta means Krishna's shelter. Dharma means what is that we should do in different circumstances. That is the understanding of dharma, what actions we should do. So that it comes only by studying Shastras. So when one takes shelter of these three things at a time of difficulties, then one can use difficulties as the springboard to jump to higher platform. Higher platform in spirituality. Once there was a there was a donkey. Let us tell this story of a donkey. It was getting very old. So owner pushed him into the pit, and the owner was throwing sand on it. Every time the owner threw the sand, he shook it and sand fell on the side. So he was able to shake his body and move the sand on the side. And when it moved on the side, he used the sand to come up outside the pit. So the way we react to the problems of life will help us to come out of the difficult situation in life, and we will elevate ourselves to the uh, pious position or better spiritual position. So Krishna Vipra Dharma Achyutashraya. We must always take help of this. So in our case, as a devotee, for us Achyuta, Krishna is all. He is all. And for us Vipra is Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master. Dharma, for us the main Dharma is Sankirtan Dharma and sadhana Dharma. So what is the sadhana that we need to do? We need to get up early in the morning, chant 16 rounds of holy names, get up early in the morning, and then attend Mangalarti, chant 16 rounds, eat only prasadam, go to the temple at least once a week, have darshan of deity, then follow four regulative principles. So, Vipra Dharma Achyutashraya. So, when we do this, we are already in the pit of material miseries. So when we do this, slowly we get elevated. So we need to follow our dharma that is given to us meticulously, consistently, with full determination. Then only we get elevated. Okay, let us go to the next shloka, shloka number 13. संस्थिते अतिरथे पाण्डौ कृता बालप्रजावधू युष्मात् गते बहु क्लेशान् प्राप्ततो कवति मुहुः. As far as my daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great General Pandu's death, she became a widow with my many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions. So Kunti Devi was widowed very early in the age. So many of them tell that in Vedic culture, women were forced to do sati. In this case, Kunti had a responsibility, and the society realized that does not have to do sati. And sati was always a voluntary submission of women, um, uh, voluntary submission of women along with the husband on the funeral pyre. So we see that it was not forced on women. It was only a voluntary submission. And Kunti is given a very big respect. She was given the full responsibility of managing the family, and she took care of the family very well. So our sufferings continued. So we can see how her determination of Queen Kunti to handle all these situations. So we do not see that Kunti Devi went to any Gurukula or to learn to take any higher education. No, she was there watching her parents, watching the other Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, how they behave, and based on that she learned. So that is how, and she spent quite some time with Pandu in the forest, where Pandu, as a husband, teaches the wife different aspects of dharma. So that is how women learned during Dwapara Yuga and the Treta Yuga. So, and that learning has helped her to manage all these problems. This means that she was destined to suffer by providence, and this one has to tolerate without being disturbed. She never got disturbed. So, we see that women were very strong and had prominent positions. So, we can see that in previous chapter, we could see Uttara, who was women, had a very strong presence in that chapter. Kunti Devi, that entire chapter was dedicated to her, and we can see how poetic she is, in spite of being a woman who has not attended any so, systematic education. So, but women were very strong and they were very knowledgeable even in Vedic times. Let us go to sloka number 14. सर्वकालकृतं मन्ये भवतां च यत् अप्रियं सफलो यद्वशी लोको वायु इव गणावलिः. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as clouds are carried by wind. And this purport is very nice. Um, Even the most pious has to suffer the conditions of material life. But a pious man is faithful to the Lord, for he is guided by the bona fide Brahmana and Vaishnava following the religious principle. These three guiding principles should be aim of life. One should not be disturbed by tricks of the eternal time. Even the great controller of universe, Brahmaji, is also under the control of that time. Therefore, one should not grudge being thus controlled by time, despite being a true follower of religious principles. So, we have to take shelter of Guru, then that is Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta, Ashraya. Then there is the inevitable time or time controls even the action of air and other elements. Everything therefore is controlled by Supreme Kala. Okay, so we should always take shelter of Vipra, Dharma, Achyutashraya. Let us go to the shloka 15. Yatra dharma suto raja dandapane prakodara Krishna astri kandivam chapam sorat krishnas tato vipat. Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in presence of King Yudhishthira? the son of demigod controlling religion, Bhima, the great fighter with club, the great Gomon, Arjuna with this mighty weapon Gandiva, and above all, Lord, the direct well-wisher of Pandavas. So the first Krishna is Arjuna. Second as Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is a definition of Kala here. Um, Despite the power of pious act, power of personalities, power of expert management, and the power of weapons, under the direct supervision of Lord, Pandavas suffered so many practical reverses, which can only be explained as direct influence of Kala, inevitable time. Kala is identical with Lord himself, and therefore the influence of Kala indicates the inexplicable wish of Lord himself. There is nothing to be lamented when matter is beyond the control of any human being. So, in the time, so in the same thing, actually, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Spashastu Kaunteya Sita Ushna Sukha Dukkata Agama Payana Nityastam Sthiti Kshashva Bharata. So we should tolerate the Sukha Dukkha. It is like the happiness and distress in life is like summer and winter season. They come and go. They come and go. We need to just tolerate. So tolerance is very, very important for a devotee. This is also very beautiful shloka. Nahi asya kare chetrajan pumam veda vidichitam yet vigna vijitnyasa yukta muhyanti kavayopi yet विजिज्ञासय अस्य जिज्ञासय युक्त मुह्यन्ति कवयोऽपि. Okay, no one can know the plan of Lord Shri Krishna. Jignasaya yukta muhyanti kavyopi. Even though great philosopher inquire exhaustively, they are all bewildered. So Krishna's plans are incomprehensible. Devotees are very pliable. They are pliable. So when Krishna is going to incarnate, he summons all the devotees and asks them to take up different roles. These roles they take up so that uh, the message of Dharma can be spread. So the best message of Dharma is Bhagavad Gita. This is the best example of Dharma Shastras. Arjuna is just an instrument. So Arjuna's bewilderment is desire of the Lord so that Bhagavad Gita can manifest. Arjuna is already a devotee who is in a mellow of friendship, Shakya. So Krishna is using his pure devotee to teach the general public the lesson of Bhagavad Gita. The other example we can see is that of Narada. When we read the history of Narada, we will be shocked. But that is our bodily understanding of the situation or the wrong understanding of the material conception. If the mother and son lived together, they would have continued the bodily relationship. So the mother was taken away from the child in a very young age. So by separating them, Krishna gave opportunity for the mother who served the Bhakti Vedantis to go to some other place and become devotee and move the boy to forest where he will get opportunity for becoming a devotee. So mother also became a devotee, child also became a devotee. Then there is one disciple of Srila Prabhupada by name Ram Nanjan Das. He died just 1 week after his initiation in an accident. Okay, and he was from a Muslim family. He was very enthusiastic person, but he had a challenge of less finance support. He had three children, and his relatives were forcing him to take up Islam again and give up Krishna consciousness, because if somebody becomes part of the mosque, he will be taken care by the mosque, he will be taken care by his family, will be taken care by mosque. But he did not give up his Krishna consciousness. But when he got killed in an accident, Srila Prabhupada explained that he is now put by Krishna in a better situation, so that he starts chanting right from the beginning. He will see his parents with tilak, always getting prasadam, and so on. And soon, the wife of Ramranjan Das, Prabhu, the Ramranjan Prabhu, she came and met Srila Prabhupada. So, and Srila Prabhupada explained about the good nature of her husband, and then the nature of Krishna. Prabhupada also told her about the body and soul. She was telling that it is only the body which got killed. The soul passes to a new realm to continue continue its activities in another body. He also Prabhupada actually talked about the soul and so on. See, actually, the Mataji, wife of this Prabhu, Ramranjan Prabhu, was very happy to be with devotees. And she also started wearing kanti mala. She also started chanting. And she became devotee. So we can see plan of Krishna. If Ramaranjan Prabhu was alive, maybe he could have been pushed to the extent that he is becoming. He had to take up Islam again. But when he left his body, the circumstances changed, that the Mataji came to temple and started taking association of devotee, and she became devotee. So we do not know Krishna's plan. We don't know Krishna's plan. Krishna is Trikala Jnani. We don't know anything. We just need to depend on Krishna. So time is a form of Krishna which delivers the devotee to Krishna. So this is the lesson, and Krishna consciousness will deliver us from material disease. And the way Krishna will operate, we don't know. So only thing that we can do is Vipra, Dharma, Achyutashraya. We just have to take shelter of these three things. So the Bhishma's point is that Krishna to Arjuna and Pandavas is that Krishna is your friend, is your well-wisher and everything. So they need not have to really worry about that. No one can know the plan of Lord Krishna. So they need not have to really worry about any of these things. Krishna will take care, because he is the supreme time, supreme kala. We can actually see many pastimes and events from scripture which illustrate the concept of Krishna's plan, which is beyond the human comprehensions. So, one is the entire trial and tribulations of Pandavas in Mahabharata, and then the entire battle of Kurukshetra. And we see Bhishma Deva, Bhishma's role in Mahabharata, where he fought against the Pandavas in spite of being a great devotee. His participation on the side of Kauravas was part of Krishna's intricate plan to showcase that even the greatest warrior cannot succeed if he is fighting for adharma. Then killing of Putana. As an infant, Krishna killed Demona's Putana, who came disguised as a nurse to kill Krishna. So, while this act might be seen very harsh, given her, she came as a mother. How can Krishna kill a mother first? But then we see that Krishna delivered Putana, and because he treated her as mother. So, it is very difficult for us to understand plan of Krishna. Then the incident of Govardhan Hill. Krishna lifted the Govardhan Hill to protect the residents of Vrindavana from the wrath of Indra, the rain god. This pastime demonstrated Krishna's divine power and his protective nature. How his actions, though very radical, was welfare for the people. Then we can see in life of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad has to undergo a lot of troubles from Hiranyakashipu, and finally Krishna came as Lord Nrsimha and delivered him. And then Ajamila was very sinful, but at the time of but when he was in deathbed, he remembered Lord's name and he was delivered. Then we could see that there was a conflict within Yadava. Yadava people killed one another and they left this world. These were the events which were orchestrated by Krishna to fulfill his desire. Why it is done, we don't know, but we just have to take shelter of Vipra, Dharma, and Achyuta. So when we do that, um, we will be safe. This is what is the most important lesson for us. Okay, so we will stop here. We'll stop here and let us just do a recap of what we have seen. So we have seen up to shloka number 17. Bhishma welcomes all the sages. Bhishma pacifies the Pandavas. And Bhishma is telling, we need not have to worry. Sages, Pandavas, and Lord go to meet Bhishma Deva. Great souls from all universe get assembled. Bhishma Deva welcomes him. He knows intricacies of Dharma, therefore he welcomes them all. Then Bhishma Deva is pacifying Pandavas. He sympathizes their suffering, but he is telling that it is all because of time, and they need not have to really worry because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And once you take shelter of Him, we need not have to really worry. We just have to be part of His inconceivable plan. So we'll stop here. We'll continue from shloka number 18 in our next class. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasamtabhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जगत शिला प्रभुपाद की जय और प्रेम हरि हरि कृष्ण